Hi, I'm Dr. Amy French of the Delta College History Department. And today I want to talk about avoiding plagiarism, especially in regards to history classes and the Michigan History Civic Engagement Project. So if we look at, what is plagiarism, according to Merriam-Webster, the 11th edition, to plagiarize is to steal and pass off the ideas or words of another as one's own, or to use another's production without crediting the source. And you can see that, I cited that. I gave credit to Merriam-Webster because that's, of course, not my idea. What we want to do at all costs is avoid trying to take credit for something else, somebody's work that isn't our own. This means that, we have to, there are some tips we can do to avoid plagiarism. Plagiarism is academic dishonesty at Delta College, and anywhere it's dishonesty. We don't want others to think that this was our idea. And there's nothing wrong with using other people's work. That's what scholars do. We build upon each other's work. So as students of history, you're budding scholars, and we don't expect you, your professors don't expect you to know everything there is to know and be coming up with great original research. We expect you to be doing research and then to be able to cite other sources and use that information and compile it together. And so here's some tips in order to help you do that and to make sure that you're not falling into any pitfalls of plagiarism. So first off, take great notes, okay? Keep track of those sources. As you're going through your articles and your books and you see things, maybe, you write down some quotes, you think this is good, or, write down, where did I get it from? What page did this come from? What article did, especially if it's a book that maybe you're going to return to a library. Or something that it's not something that maybe you might still have later when you're actually writing the paper. So take great notes so that you know where you found something. But even so, at the end when you're trying to write a paper, this isn't the time to try to figure out where your sources are. So you want to know your sources and keep track of those as you're going along, especially when you're paraphrasing things. And I'll talk about paraphrasing again in a second, but when you're writing notes, a lot of times we're putting things in our own words, but they're still not our ideas. They're somebody else's ideas. And so that's called paraphrasing. And when we're putting something into our own words, but it's not our original work, it's not our idea, we still have to cite that work. And so you want to keep track of those sources. Okay, so the first thing that we definitely want to cite is anything we're putting in quotation marks, anything that's word for word directly quoted. We're going to want to cite that. And those, I think, are the most basic. People know to do that. The second thing that people might not know, and might be a little bit, the one that kind of throws people off a little bit is, well, what about when I put it in my own words? When I paraphrase it, but it's my words. Well, the question is it your idea though? And if it's not your idea, then you're paraphrasing. Even if you're rearranging the words a little bit, it's still you're paraphrasing. And so you have to cite that. That's not yours. And if you want to go a little bit further with this, you're rearranging words around, it's pretty easy. You're saying, okay, I quoted this. I know I need to cite it. And I rearranged the words, so I paraphrased it. I know I need to cite it. And then you think, I'm not sure. I added a lot to it. I added a lot, So ask yourself this. If you didn't quote it and you didn't paraphrase it, ask yourself, is it someone else's original work? Is it someone's argument? Or is it general knowledge? General knowledge are the things that are matters of fact. Something happened in 1776. A battle was won in such and such a year. So-and-so did this, something this happened. These are, if you want to think of them this way, these are the things that aren't argumentative. But somebody's original work, this might be their thesis. This is something that we could say it's an argument. It's something that we could make a case that it could be something else. And if that's the case, it is an original work. And you should still, at the end of that sentence, put a little I love a footnote, put a little footnote there with a little number, and then say, and this work, this is the idea of somebody else. And your professors will be happy. They'll be happy to know that, hey, my student gets this. They get that there is a body of knowledge out there, and they understand, and they're consulting it and they're crediting it. So and as a profession, we generally use Chicago manual style. That's what we use as our citation method. So your professors, I ask my students to use Chicago manual style. And if you're watching this in another class for a different professor, your professors might ask you as well to use Chicago manual style. I hope you found this helpful to help you avoid plagiarism. Happy writing and have a great day.